Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Criminal Minds Evolution, Season 1, Episode 6. We are back. The hiatus is over. Presumably, we are going to have new episodes every week from here on out.
Yes, this is our first Criminal Minds back in the new year. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope that 2023 is going well for everybody so far.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
you don't have any unsubs like chasing you down the street or anything like that. That would be a bad start to the year.
No, it really would. But you know what would be a good start to the year? Hitting that subscribe button so that you're here for every single one of our Criminal Minds reviews going forward. Also, The Last of Us, that is going to be coming up on Sunday. We're going to be doing video reviews for that every single week. AGT, make sure you check out those reviews as well. And follow us over on Instagram. We have a whole bunch of pictures up of the pets, the bunny, the dog, the cat, all of it through the whole holidays.
Okay, so I think there's clearly a lot to talk about within this episode, a lot of character stuff, but can we just start with the moment that made my heart the happiest?
Oh,
2 words.
yep.
Wheels up. We got it.
No.
We got it, everybody. It's over. We can stop watching
All
now.
right. No, I was so happy to hear that and that we actually got the plane. There was a little part of me that was like, are they going to give Wheels Up? And then because they were like, oh man, Wheels Up. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, here we go. They're going to be in the plane. All of a sudden they landed where they were supposed to be and they were just walking in onto the scene. I was like, oh, you guys better not be doing us dirty where you're going to be like Wheels Up and then no plane. But no, we got some plane.
Yeah, I think this show is clearly trying to, they're trying to give us an evolution of everything that we have seen from Criminal Minds in the past, but I think you can't forget what got you there. You can't forget the lines, the settings, like some of this sort of stuff. And I think this episode did a pretty good job of hitting us in that nostalgia bone. I don't know where the nostalgia bone is, but
It's all over. I mean, that's the thing about this particular season. They are hitting that nostalgic bone all over. And that's the thing that I'm really curious about this show kind of going forward past this season, if it's renewed, are we going to be seeing a lot more people coming back from the past, like Matt Simmons or Reed or Hotch or Morgan? Like, are we going to be seeing people coming back? Because I feel like the answer is actually yes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. I mean, obviously, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I feel pretty hopeful that Reed in particular is going to be around for the next season. So we have hopefully that stuff to look forward to. And this episode really established that there's a lot of interesting things to kind of look forward to just in the present, like with Garcia.
Okay, we need to talk about this,
Yeah.
guys. So put on your hard hats because I'm a person who really enjoys Garcia. I like her a lot. But one of the things that I am not a fan of is sort of this barrier that she has whenever there's any kind of deeper romantic involvement for her. She's so closed off that anytime there's any sort of possibility of a romance or someone who's really is interested in her, wants to get closer to her, she backs right off. And this has been going on a very, very, very long time that I want to see an evolution of this character. And we saw a tiny bit in this episode, but my kind of beef is if you're going to have a romance with Garcia and someone, now it's Green. There was that whole scene where you could see it was such a romantic scene. Like there was no reason for her to all of a sudden be like, let's go for a walk and like break this beautiful kiss that was about to happen. That was like, oh, ow, oh my heart. It's coming together in such a beautiful way that we're going to have this really emotional moment for Garcia. And she ruins it. They go for the walk and then she runs back to him and gives him this kiss where it's not as powerful as it was going to be for me as a viewer. Why isn't this Luke? And that's where really my beef is, because they set up for a long time in previous seasons this really nice connection between them. Finally, at the finale, he asks her out. She says yes. I'm just like, oh man, man, the show's over. This really sucks. Finally, they brought it to this really beautiful place with these two people that have incredible chemistry together. So when it was like, oh, and now Evolution 16 is coming in, I'm like, oh, here we go. That chemistry, it was there. It's still going to be there. What happened with these two? They gotta be together. And it was just this like throwaway kind of line of, yeah, we went to lunch and it was nothing. And it's like, okay, but no, no, it's not that it was just nothing. You can't do that. And then you're gonna give me green and I'm gonna have to just be okay with it. No, the answer is no. Where is Luke? Luke has nothing to do this season. Give him Garcia. Get Green out of here.
Okay, it's tinfoil hat time, everybody. Go ahead, put them on, but keep them on for a little while because there's a lot to get into here. First and foremost, I think shows have a very hard time doing romantic subplots for their sort of comic relief characters. Like, we've seen this on plenty of other shows in addition to Criminal Minds, but it's very weird that they sort of have a hard time assessing, like, here's Garcia, someone who brings a lot of levity and a lot of fun to the show a lot of the time. Can you show her in that other context? And I think we've clearly established, and to some extent, this show did too in this episode. The answer here is yes. Now, tinfoil number 2 is that I think we are going to get something with Garcia and Luke eventually. I don't think what they're doing now is necessary at all, but I feel like Green's going to die before this season is over because, they have to kill somebody. And, big surprise, everybody, they didn't kill Luke and they didn't kill JJ.
Shocker.
So, but Green's somebody who you can get rid of. You've got a tiny bit of investment in him, at least in that, he's been around longer than an episode at this point. So you can sort of argue that. And then after something happens to him, Garcia is going to be looking for a friend for comfort. That friend could be Luke, and that could sort of be the foundation for something more later.
All right, let's talk about that cliffhanger. Man, I really hope you're right, but I'm losing faith on that. The fact that they had put Luke and Garcia together at the end, and then all of a sudden they came back and washed it away with a little throwaway line about lunch. My faith is a little bit like now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that cliffhanger because in our last video where we saw that cliffhanger, we both sat here and were like, neither of them are dead.
Yep.
It's really difficult with these types of cliffhangers with a show that's been on the air 16 seasons where you're going to put people in danger that aren't leaving. And if they're not leaving, you got to find a way to have a cliffhanger that makes us actually scared because neither of them even ended up in the hospital. Like nothing happened to them that there was sort of like, oh, they kind of got a warning to get out of there in time. Okay, well, when we watched them, they were right in that little walkway coming out of this. That blast would have blasted them into their next 5 lifetimes. How are they getting up and walking around? It was just kind of like, meh.
Superpowers.
There's no payoff.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things where they knew that they needed to give people incentive to keep watching. And that's what the cliffhanger was really all about. That, okay, if we kind of make you worried, then you're not going to forget about us. Entering the new year, you're going to be talking about but we've already established there was no real drama here. We've already lost Reed and we've already lost Simmons. I know they're still alive, but they're not on the show. They're not going to pluck another regular out of this. This is why I said back in the last video, this should have been Will who was in danger. It should have been somebody else who we could have bought into the idea that maybe they would have been killed off and then maybe we would have been legitimately worried.
Yeah, I think they need to really raise the bar when it comes to taking risks with this show. They can't keep having sort of the same types of stories that we had when it was on network TV. Like, oh, is BAU getting closed down? Okay, this story's been going on a long time. Oh, is somebody going to get blown up in this? No, nobody's getting blown up in this. We know those. So take those bigger risks with this show. You guys are now in a streaming service. You can do those types of things. It doesn't always have to be life or death. There can be other things like, a cliffhanger of, are they about to actually catch him kind of thing. I would come back for that. I was going to come back anyways. But
yeah.
You know what I mean? Stop with the cliffhangers that we can all predict are not going anywhere.
Yeah, and just feel good about the rest of your show. Let that sort of be the reminder of why people are going to come back.
Yes.
there's so much other good stuff happening. And I think an interesting sort of discussion point, and I mean, you leave this in the comments, and of course, be sure to subscribe if you enjoy these discussions and want to see more of them. But I just really feel like the pacing for this season, I like where it's at right now. I can see some people probably being like it's too slow because we're all kind of used to like getting revelations like here, 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 and here. But like Rossi sort of figuring out that Sicarius is probably a family man in this episode.
Mhm.
It feels like that would be something in a normal Criminal Minds episode that would happen like 25 minutes in, and we would really have to sort of be like, how did he make this leap so fast? Like, what's real? It's like here, though, it actually felt really earned and satisfying. And I was just like, you go, Rossi. You look how smart you are. Not that we didn't know that already.
No, I think that it's just they have because they have a killer who's doing the killer network and we get to see it all season
Yeah.
long. Everything feels like it's paid off so much better. I mean, even the little tiny things like have actually gotten to know this killer. We've had a couple of episodes where we've
Yeah.
had flashbacks and sort of, what's going on in his present. We've really gotten to know him. I mean, there was a moment with him in the past where he was actually reading Rossi's book, where I was just like, wow, what a cool little sort of Easter egg that's in there, that's a thing that's happening.
Elias is getting messy. Like that's sort of my feel. We talked a little bit about that in the last video too, but he is just like he's killing a little bit too often. He's killing a little bit too close to home at this point.
Yeah, I was very happy with this part of the episode to learn about his past and his uncle who took him in because it was sort of like this. One of the things that the uncle brought up that he was teaching him, besides how to kill and what's going on, was sort of this like uh, how to make somebody depend on you, this helplessness that you have to depend on that person to sort of give you direction or tell you when you can eat or whatever. That now explains to me how he is able to build this network of people who are relying on him to be able to give them the go ahead, that they're going to wait until he says, because I've been kind of like, well, how is he doing that?
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things seems to be that he's got something on people, but he also learned helplessness of how to sort of keep people in check because that happened to him.
They did a good job of sort of paying that off in this episode and
Yeah.
addressing like some of the concerns that we had. Now, another storyline that I am kind of sitting here being like, how are you guys going to provide anything more on this? And are you, is what's going on here with Tara and, her personal life. It seems like her and Rebecca are kind of on the outs or really even done at this point because it doesn't even seem like she's going to come home at this point.
Listen, I hate to say it, but I kind of understand where Rebecca's coming from because Rebecca has put her own job on the line by giving Tara all these sort of heads up. Here's a
Yeah.
little bit of information. Oh, you need more help. Here's more help. It's kind of going outside of what I can do with my job. But because, we're in a relationship,
Yeah.
a pretty serious relationship. They're living together.
Yeah.
That it's, I think she expects to have that same respect work-wise given her. Just give me a heads up. That's all you had to. You had to just tell me that you're kind of looking into this. This was a really important case to me that kind of made me like, could you not give me the heads up? So I actually understand why Rebecca was just like, I'm not going to be at home when you come home. We're not talking about this at home. We have to be on the same road together or we have to be off the road.
I still have hope that maybe they're gonna find a way to make this work, but I think the onus is it's gonna be on Tara at this point. She's got to figure out a way to try to make things right, and it's not going to happen right away. Like I think if everything is hunky dory in this next episode, I'm just gonna be like, that's not realistic. This can be a season long thing. We'll wait around for it.
And the one thing that I really like about how they've put this together with Rebecca and Tara is that Rebecca is the person, not Tara, that's in the right, in my opinion. You can tell us in the comments what you think.
Yeah.
That she's the one that is in the right. And Tara, who's, one of the heroes of the show sort of thing, someone that we all root for, is the person who has stepped in it and that they didn't reverse that. because Rebecca's more of a minor
Yeah.
character, and it's nice to see when our heroes have stepped in it, and that it is kind of like, we're not perfect. We make mistakes too. Maybe I should have given her the heads up and been like, hey, here's the heads up, but it's still happening. I think Rebecca still would have been like, okay, thanks for letting me know. At least now I know how to deal with it.
Yeah, this is just a lot more realistic. This is something that happens in real life with everybody. Nobody is perfect, like you said. And you know what? I don't think any of us think less of Tara as, a
No,
human being because
no.
of this. So let's hold out hope, and we'll hold out hope that the rest of Criminal Minds Evolution delivers, especially when we get closer to that finale. So hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any other coverage, and we'll see you here next time.